Are you struggling with answering the interview question? What are your weaknesses? In this video, we will teach you how to answer this tough question by providing you with 5 sample answers to choose from. These answers are guaranteed to suit everyone, regardless of the interview they have coming up. Welcome to this tutorial where you will learn how to answer the tough interview question, what are your weaknesses? This question will most likely come up during your interview, so this video will be very helpful. Before we give you 5 sample answers, there are 3 important tips to keep in mind. Firstly, don't mention anything from the job description as your weakness. Secondly, don't say that you don't have any weaknesses as everyone has one. Instead, turn your weaknesses into a strength. Lastly, once you disclose your weakness to the interview panel, tell them what you are doing to improve it. Please, remember to subscribe to this channel as we create videos like this every week. If you like the video, we would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Let's take a look at the 5 sample answers for the "What are your weaknesses?" interview question. First up, we have the "Can't say no" weakness. This is a great one for any interviewer because it shows that you're willing to take on loads of work. Here's a sample response you can use. I sometimes find it hard to say no to coworkers, and I end up doing some of their work as well as my own. Initially, I felt obligated to help other coworkers with their tasks, but I soon realized that this was counterproductive to my own work. After I started taking work home with me, I decided to take the initiative, and I have learned to distinguish between what duties are solely mine and which are my colleagues. This is a great response that can be used in any kind of interview. Remember, it's important to be honest about your weaknesses, but also show that you're actively working to improve them. Let's move on to number 2, the impatience weakness. This is another response that an interviewer would love to hear. I find it difficult to wait for others to come back to me when my own task depends on them. This shows that I can be impatient at times, and during a telephone conversation with an external company, one person commented that they found me quite pushy to deal with. I apologized and explained that my pushiness was only because I wanted to complete the job for my employer. I am working on being more patient, but I will always have the urge to get the job done as soon as possible. This kind of impatience can come across as a weakness, but it's also a positive trait that an employer would appreciate. Now, let's move on to the 3rd weakness, taking on too much work. The response goes like this. I sometimes take on too much work and find it difficult to delegate tasks to others. This has resulted in me feeling overwhelmed with too much work, and sometimes I have to work on weekends to keep up. I have learned to complete tasks as quickly and accurately as possible before moving on to the next one. I also understand the importance of delegating tasks to team members, who may be better suited to complete them based on their workload. This is also a great response to the common interview question, what are your weaknesses? Let's take a look at weakness number 4, working with external companies. This is a relatively safe weakness to mention as many employees may not have had much experience dealing with stakeholders outside their company. Here's a response you could use. To be honest, I haven't had much experience dealing with external companies or stakeholders. However, I recognize that in this area where I need to develop to become a well-rounded employee. In my previous role, I shadowed my manager for a day to learn how she dealt with external companies. It was a valuable experience that gave me insight into the process. I believe that gaining more experience in this area will enhance my overall capabilities in a work-related role. Moving on to weakness number 5, not seeing the bigger picture. This is an important weakness to acknowledge. As an employee, you may focus solely on your tasks and not consider the broader organizational goals. Here's a response you could use. Initially, I used to get disheartened and demotivated when my manager implemented new policies or changes to procedures. However, during my last appraisal, I asked to shadow my manager for a day to learn about his role and how the company operates on a strategic level. This was an eye-opening experience that made me realize the importance of change in an organization's growth and development. I now view change as an opportunity for growth and development. So, that's 5 great answers that you can use as your guide. Analyze how they are structured and personalize your response based on experience. If you need further assistance with your interview, be sure to check out our video on 7 best behavioral interview questions and answers. This will give you insights on the most difficult questions and how you can ace them. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys, and we wish you all the very best in your pursuit of passing your interview.